What's up guys, Hypnotic here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to mod your Nintendo Switch with the homebrew, and how to install mods such as Super Smash Bros. Mods onto your Nintendo Switch. So before we get started, there are 3 things that you will need before you start getting into all these files and everything. The first thing you're going to need is a jig. If you don't know what it is, it's basically something that you put over the slide of your Joy-Cons. And the second thing you're going to need is a USB to USB-C cable. Basically, that will connect your Switch to your computer, and it'll be the right charger, obviously, and you're going to need it to be plugged into the computer. And the third thing you're going to need is a really big SD card. I mean, 32 gigabytes is recommended, but you have to dump your game and install mods. And mods they're not very small files either, so you're definitely going to want to have, I would recommend a 128 gigabyte SD card. You can get them for about $20 at Walmart, and that usually does the trick. So now that we have the prerequisites out of the way, let's get into the actual files. So you're going to want to go to the file where it's called SD Setup. There will be a link in the description to this file. You can download it straight from the Google Drive. You open the file, and then you go to SD. And then from there, you see these files right here. You want to take all of these files, and you want to drag them onto the root of your SD card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste them right here. So copy and paste. And if you guys don't know, this is the root of your SD card. The root of your SD card is just right here. It's when you open up your SD card. That's it. And you'll have this Nintendo folder. Don't touch the Nintendo folder, because that holds all of your saves, all your albums, all your screenshots. It holds everything like that, so do not ever delete that if you do plan to take off these modifications. So I'm going to paste it in here now, and as you can see, it's putting all of those files in here, and yeah, everything's looking good so far. Now what you can do is, if you want to, you can go straight to your Nintendo Switch and you can load up the homebrew for the first time, but you don't have to do that. That is just an option. So, now that we have all of this, you basically have the homebrew set up on your Nintendo Switch. Next thing you're going to want to do is go to that same folder, SD Setup. You're going to want to go to PC. You go to PC, you click Tegra RCM GUI version 2.6 portable, and then you're going to want to go to Tegra RCM GUI right here. Don't click on the Smash thing, because that has nothing to do with anything. Just click the Tegra RCM GUI. Okay, so here I have my Nintendo Switch, and I have my SD card, which I have now ejected out of my PC. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my mini SD, 128 gigabytes, and I'm going to place it inside of my Nintendo Switch. Inside the Nintendo Switch, all the way at the back, right here where the stand normally goes. You then close that up. The next step is to put in the jig. The jig will look something like this. And what you do is you make sure that this part right here is at the bottom every single time, the metal prongs. And what you do is you're going to take off your right Joy-Con, and you're going to place this jig and slide it down all the way, and then that is where that's taken care of. Now here's where the USB-C 3 and the USB part come in handy. I'm about to plug that USB into my computer, and I'm about to plug this USB 3 into my Switch. Now that we have that, it's going to say turn off the device. This is okay to do. Turn off your device, and then you're going to want to head back to your computer. Now we are back on our PC, and here, as you can see, I have a folder right here. You probably don't know what that is. I don't expect you to. So we have this open right here that I showed you earlier. Now what you do is, since you don't have anything right now, you have to go to browsing and locate your SD folder, so your SD setup folder. So you will go to desktop, which I highly recommend that you just keep it there, and you click SD setup. You will go to payloads now, and then you will click Hecate, and then it'll say 5.1.1 bin. Now it says no RCM device detected. Well, that's because you need to do this right here. You need to take your Nintendo Switch, put one finger over the volume up button and one finger over the power button. What you're going to do is you're going to press the volume up button and then press the power button. And it will then say RCM OK on your computer. You will inject payload, and you can see right here it says launch, and then it says CFW sysnand. You will click that right there, and it says Cosmos, and then it will load into a regular Nintendo Switch menu. And then all you have to do is just press A 3 times, and at this point you can take out your cord and you can take off the jig so you can navigate a bit better. And for most of you, you're gonna have to go down to the album and you're gonna have to click R and then press A, and then it will launch the homebrew launcher. For me, I've already been doing this, so I'm going to click R, press A, and this is how I will load into the homebrew launcher. As you can see, I am in there now, and that's how you get into the homebrew launcher. But now you're probably wondering, how do I actually get the mods in there? How do I install mods for Super Smash Bros. Or for things like Breath of the Wild? Well, I can show you how to do it for Super Smash Bros. Because that is fairly easy. So you're going to want to come back to your desktop, and from here you will go to your SD card. So you would have to take out your SD card from your Nintendo Switch, stick your USB or whatever device you have. Oh frick. So I just stuck my SD card into my computer, and now you're wondering what to do. So here's what we will do. There's a file called Ultimate Mod Manager. It is also in the link description below. You can download it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this in your Switch folder of your SD card. So you have Atmosphere, Bootloader. Click the Switch one. Now you're in the Switch folder. Just drag and drop in there. And it makes a copy, but it also keeps one on your desktop. And now what you do is you will exit out of here because you're done with that, and you will take out your SD card and head to your Switch. And like I said, you'll just go back into this Tegra RCM GUI. Make sure your Switch is all the way off every single time. Then you'll press the volume up button and then the power button. Now your Switch is recognized. Inject payload. Now you're gonna go and press launch, and then you will see the CFW sysnand. You'll press that. Same pattern as usual, nothing different. But this time, you will have to load into Super Smash Bros. Like I just did when you have the Ultimate Mod Manager in your Switch folder. Okay, so now that we are on our Switch, we can load into the Homebrew Launcher by holding down R and then pressing A as if you were going to play the game. And then you can see Ultimate Mod Manager pops up. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over to Ultimate Mod Manager, click it, press A, and then it will start the dumping process of your game. This, if you have an SD card, this should only take you about 10 to 12 minutes at the most. I know it always takes me about 12 to 13 minutes. So if you have a big enough SD card, this should go by really fast. And now you can see that I have dumped the entire game. And now we're done for that process. You can press X to verify the dump by launching Smash, or you can just trust it at this point, which I normally do. Now what you have to do is you have to go back to your PC and put your SD card in your PC. Okay, now that we have your SD card inside your PC, you want to get mods. Well, luckily for you, I have already put together a lot of mods so that you guys can just play right when you start this. So there will also be a link in the description for that as well. I'm just going to go to my new folder and I'm going to copy and paste every single file here. So let's do that. Let's just do that right here. Copy and paste all these files. So copy. Or we could just, to make it easier, just copy right here. And then we go to our SD card folder, go to Ultimate Mod Manager, go to Mods, and then you paste right here. This could take a few minutes, but once this is done, then you can go back to your Switch, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, now that we are back into our Switch and we've loaded up everything like the previous two times, we are going to press R, hold down R, and then click A once again to load up into the homebrew. Then we're going to go to Ultimate Mod Manager, and you'll see that you have a lot of mods now if you installed my mod pack. So all you have to do is press A, and then it'll start installing the mods. So what I did right now is I was done installing one of the mods, and then I pressed X right afterward instead of going back to the other mods.